Hello. I thought I wasn't going to make it today. I've got here just in time. Welcome back to another episode of Amplify with your host. It's me, Miranda. Oh, what a week I've had this week. It has been a very busy week for me, and it has been particularly noisy. And I have to tell you, my friends, sometimes I really love being in an exciting, noisy environment, and sometimes it gets a little bit overwhelming. And this week, I feel like I've got a little bit overwhelmed with all the noise and the activity and the rushing and all the things that I've been doing this week. It's made me feel like saying, everybody be quiet. I just need some peace. And that made me wonder, how many of you get a little bit overwhelmed with all the things that are going on in your life? And how many times do you say, oh, I wish I just had some peace and quiet? Well, it made me think about how in the Bible Jesus tells us that he gives us his peace. Even Jesus sometimes felt the need to go away and be a little bit quiet. You know, he had lots of friends and lots more followers who listened to everything he said. And he loved to tell people stories, just like I do. But sometimes he felt the need to go off by himself, sit quietly, and have a little bit of peaceful time listening and talking to God. We can all find things a bit busy and a bit noisy in our lives and need to have a little bit of quiet time. So today I thought we might make a peace pineapple. Yes, you heard me right. We're going to be making a peace pineapple for our craft today. I bet that's something you've never heard of before, but it's something that's going to remind me to take a little bit of time for myself and be peaceful. So let's go and find all our bits and pieces we need to do our craft. For this craft, you'll just need a few pieces of paper. One, the colour of the fruit you're making, and we're doing a pineapple, so I've chose this lovely yellowy colour. And you'll need a green piece for the leaves at the top of the pineapple. And I've also got a piece of white paper to make any details that we're going to add. You'll need some pens, something sticky. I've chosen sticky tape, a pair of scissors and a pencil. So let's get started. I have put my piece of yellow paper on top of some white card because it's hard for me to see the yellow paper on my yellow table. But you probably won't have to do that. Let's start by drawing a pineapple shape. I think a pineapple is sort of a big oblong with a flat bottom, a little bit like an egg. So draw your shape with pencil, and when you're happy with it, you'll need a pair of scissors. Very carefully cut it out. Remember to be careful. That's all done. And I think that looks very pineapple-y. Now, I think I'm going to add a few details to this just to make it look a little bit more like a pineapple. So I have a brown felt tip and I'm going to do these bumpy shapes all over the pineapple, because if you've ever felt a pineapple, you'll know that it is not a smooth fruit like apples or pears, but it's a kind of spiky, bumpy fruit. Like this. It feels a little bit rough on your hands. There's lots of these little bumpy bits all over. Let's do a few more up here and maybe 2 more at the top there. Quite happy with that. That looks very pineapple-y. Now I'm going to get the green piece, and this is where we're going to have a bit of fun because I want to do the leaves in the shape of a handprint. So lay your hand flat on the green paper, take a pencil, carefully draw around your hand going up and down and up and down each of your fingers until you've drawn all the way around your hand like this. Yes, I'm happy with that. Now we need to cut this out. So it's back to our scissors again. There, I've cut my hand out. And now I'm going to stick it to the top of the pineapple. See how it looks like the leaves of a pineapple? Let's grab some tape and we'll stick it down at the back. You might want to use glue instead, but I thought tape might be right for this. There we go. There's one piece, another piece, and do we need some at the front? Yes, just a little bit there. There, wonderful. Let's add some features. So we'll do 2 eyes on here. And for that, I'm going to get the white piece of paper and I'm going to do 2 big black circles to be the eyes. And then I'll make 2 smaller circles inside. And if you add 2 more tiny little circles like this and leave those bits white, it makes it look like the light is reflecting in the eyes, which is a very good effect when you're drawing cartoon eyes. So let's cut these out and stick them on. I think that's just about the right position. A little bit of tape. Again, you could use a glue stick if you'd rather. Bit of tape on each eye. There we go. And another one there. And let's give him a very cheeky smile. Lovely. He looks great. Now, on the fingers here, we're going to write our scripture. A scripture is a line that you've read in the Bible. So on here, I am going to write, the Lord blesses his people, that's us, with peace. And on the thumb here, I'm going to write where I found that in the Bible. And it's in a book called Psalms. And it's Psalm 29. And it's line 11. So that tells me exactly where to find this piece of scripture. The Lord blesses his people with peace. And that's our peace pineapple. And here is our finished pineapple of peace. Peace pineapple. Remember the scripture, the Lord blesses his people with peace. So whenever you're feeling a little bit worried or a bit anxious, remember your peace pineapple. The Lord wants to bless you with his peace. And I enjoyed doing that so much, I decided to make something else. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is a carrot of courage. Look at that fantastic carrot. I'm really pleased with that. That's another one of my handprints. And this one says, be strong and courageous. And that's Joshua 1 verse 9. I wonder how many different fruits and vegetables you can make using your handprints. Now I think it's time we had a song and a dance, and then I will see you back here next week for another episode of Amplify. Until then, take care, God bless, and bye-bye, my friends. See ya, bye. We're going to sing He's Got the Whole World in His Hands. Some of my friends here at Amplify have written 3 new verses, and they've thought about the things they're grateful that God has in his hands. So we're going to sing He's got the cats and the dogs in his hands. He's got the paint and the paintbrushes in his hands. And he's got the pepperoni pizza in his hands. Are you ready? Let's sing. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole wide world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the cats and the dogs in his hands. He's got the cats and the dogs in his hands. He's got the cats and the dogs in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the paints and the paintbrushes in his hands. He's got the paints and the paintbrushes in his hands. He's got the paints and the paintbrushes in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the pepperoni pizza In his hands he's got the pepperoni pizza. In his hands he's got the pepperoni pizza. In his hands he's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole wide world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. See you next time. Bye.